This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As most of you know, John McCain passed away last week, and it was a who's who of politicians and celebrities who showed up at his funeral to pay respects, from Henry Kissinger to Barack Obama to George Bush. This is a video that you all must watch and share, because you're going to get a good laugh at this. Now, we all know how these bloodlines work. All of these people are connected through bloodlines. All these politicians are related to one another. And I don't want to hear, it's a 10th cousin. That's not, you and so-and-so are technically related. You know, that's what the common sheep will say. They'll say, you're 55th, 1000th cousin of, Jeffrey Dahmer or someone like that, or even Barack Obama. Okay, these people are all connected, and it's not by coincidence, because bloodlines do rule. They've given the illusion that we live in a republic. But listen to this clip and watch how Barry Obama can't even keep a straight face when he says this about America.
That part of what makes our country great is that our membership is based not on our bloodline, not on what we look like, what our last names are. It's not based on where our parents or grandparents came from or how recently they arrived, but on adherence to a common creed, that all of us are created equal. That part of what makes our country great is that our membership is based not on our bloodline.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? He says we're not connected by bloodlines. Well, you guys are connected by bloodlines. That's why you got a little smirk on your face, right? But see, the common person out there doesn't realize that these people are all related and connected and in control of everything through their bloodlines. Now, what's funny about it is let's just take a look at John McCain's bloodline, and you tell me if John McCain or even Barry are connected in any way. You go right up to the top of his bloodline. He's his 21st great-grandfather was King Edward I. Well, what a coincidence. Barry Obama's 23rd great-grandfather was King Edward I. Boy, so that would make them pretty close in relation. And you can go down through Barry's and see, from James Madison to Lyndon B. Johnson, to some of these people, to other presidents, to Hollywood celebrities, to Warren Buffett, being related to Harry S. Truman, being related to J.P. Morgan. And it doesn't matter if it's 7th cousin 4 times removed, because guess what? I'm not a 7th cousin 100th time removed from any of these people, and neither are you, the listener of this channel. Just because they're not direct brothers and stuff like this. I mean, who has any of this lineage really in their family? Now, you might be able to go back and find somebody who was in a war, or maybe you are related to somebody somewhere, of course, right? When you go through all this stuff, and people love going through the people's family trees, but it's not a coincidence when you go down the who's on these lists. And as we're going through Barry Obama's, you see the actor Robert Duvall, then you see Jimmy Carter, right? Brad Pitt, Dick Cheney. This is related to Obama, Sarah Palin, George W. Bush, 10th cousin, 1 time removed, Gerald Ford, John Glenn, the astronaut, or the supposed astronaut, I should say. The actor is more like it. Okay, so George W. Bush. So we have George H.W., 10th cousin, then you get George W. as his 11th cousin. He's related to Jeb Bush, related to George Washington, Eli Whitney. These are people who you hear about in school. these are presidents, right? But remember, it's not connected through a bloodline. So take a look at John McCain's. This is even funnier. I already mentioned King Edward I. He's also the 22nd great. His 22nd great-grandfather is King Henry III as well. And as you scroll down through he's related to some pretty interesting people, including someone in the front row, Laura Bush, the 6th cousin. His sixth cousin. You don't hear about that John McCain and Laura Bush are sixth cousins. Because then people would start going, boy, a lot of these people seem related to one another. You know, we got presidents who are related to other presidents. We have presidents who are related to one another running against each other. You think it might come out, right? That Obama's running against George Bush. Or I don't think they ran directly against each other. But when Obama, took over for George Bush, nobody was like, wow, it's his 10th cousin. It's his 10th cousin. You don't hear that kind of stuff. Why? Because then people get suspicious. He's related to Thomas Jefferson, his 8th cousin, 5 times removed. King Henry VIII. Hetty Green. If you're not familiar with Hetty Green, she was known as the Witch of Wall Street. Right? You know why? Because she inherited money at a certain time and then invested money in war bonds. At the time of her death in 1916, think about this, 1916, 102 years ago, her net worth was between $100 and $200 million. Is it a coincidence that she's known as the Witch of Wall Street? It must be, right? But wait, there's more. Charles Darwin, Mr. Theory of Evolution, happens to be related to Mr. McCain, 9th cousin. Princess Diana, Prince William, and Prince Harry, all related. 10th cousin, 2 times removed, Princess Diana. General Robert E. Lee, President George Washington, William Henry Harrison, the 9th U.S. president. And then you get interesting ones, like Sir Winston Churchill. But this one's funniest of most, probably. Reverend George Burroughs, who was executed during the Salem witch trials. It was believed that he murdered his multiple wives that he had, right? But of course, that's just a witch hunt, right? That's what they say. Well, they can't really prove that he did that. And, he was wrongfully killed. James Madison, the 4th president. So the guys are really related. I mean, I don't have any connection. I mean, there's people out there who can barely get jobs. If you were like the 10th cousin of Donald Trump, don't you think maybe he give you a job, even if it was in the mailroom at the White House or something like that? I mean, nobody's related to these people, but people still, they go, this is not true. George Clinton, the 4th U.S. vice president, he's related to. Marilyn Monroe. Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd U.S. president. I mean, I could go on and on. John Langdon, the signer of the U.S. Constitution. Boy, these people really just, most people you go through it, you'll find out, well, my great-grandfather was, he worked in an oil mine or a coal mine, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. These people, it's like the elite of the elite, but they pretend that, this is all just a huge coincidence. Yes, Sarah Palin. He's related to Sarah Palin. I'm not sure if he ran against her in one of the fake elections or something like that. I forget, but they're connected to one another. They're related. 14th cousins directly. Gerald Ford, the 38th U.S. president, is his 15th cousin. Then you get some more interesting ones here. This is for John McCain we're talking about. John McCain here, who people are talking about, John McCain is a warrior and all this stuff. And obviously people who are awake know how many lives are on his hands, how much blood is on this guy's hands, just like Kissinger. But you get John D. Rockefeller's 15th cousin. That must be a huge coincidence that he's related to the Rockefellers as well. Then you can throw in actors like Linda Hamilton from Terminator, Ethan Hawke, right? And you see how some of these people become who they are and how they become, oh man, what a great actor. You wouldn't know what a great actor, they're just professional liars. That's what they are. He's related to J.P. Morgan, Eli Whitney, same as Obama. Boy, so Queen Elizabeth II is 16th cousin. Mitt Romney, 16th cousin. Then you get people like Norman Rockwell in there. And the list just goes on. John Kerry, related to John Kerry. J.P. Morgan Jr., right? Paris Hilton of the Hilton fame, right? Don't think of Paris Hilton just Paris Hilton, the ditzy, blonde bimbo. The Hilton chain, hotel chain. more powerful people, billionaires. And of course, he's related, 17th cousin to George H.W. Bush, and the 17th cousin of George W. Bush, right? Just like Obama. So these guys are really related to a lot of people. Related to Britney Spears, 17th cousin. Dick Clark. So don't tell me, it's John Cena, 17th cousin. Anyone's wondering, John Cena who throws up the 666 sign, the wrestler, who's now suddenly a Hollywood actor. The guy could not be less funny. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this guy. He is so unfunny and unentertaining. You have to have common sense to say, well, he's obviously planted here for some reason. And obviously, it's influencing kids. Here's a guy who leads the world or something in like Make-A-Wish appearances with little children. Lord only knows what occurs. And I don't want to even think about it because I'm going to blow my temper through the roof, put my blood pressure at a 200 over 150. Then, it still goes on. Theodore Roosevelt, right? Other astronauts, Alan Shepard, Lucille Ball, related to Walt Disney, 18th cousin, Walt Disney, high-ranking Freemason, amongst other things, working hand-in-hand with the FBI and the CIA and the things that go on at Disney with MK Ultra. And then you just get people like Chevy Chase and Sigourney Weaver and Christopher Reeve, right? You get a bunch of actors, Kerry Russell, and you say, oh, wow, Anderson Cooper is his 18th cousin. This is all a show, and that's why you see Anderson Cooper, right? He'll say stuff on TV, when John McCain's publicly running or doing something because it's supposed to be a liberal channel taking shots at John McCain, and then he dies, and then, he's such a hero, and we all should remember him as a hero, because it's all a show. That's all it is. It's a bunch of these people who are all part of these bloodlines related to one another, putting on a show, a circus, a charade, at the expense of the American people, and at the expense of the world. This is done worldwide. But specifically here in America because the illusion of a republic exists. And that's what's so funny about it. And that's why even Barry Obama can't keep a straight face when he's talking about this stuff. Because he's going, boy, these people really still buy this, that their vote counts. And it's never been at a higher extreme where these people buy this stuff. Right? Because they've got, the left-right has never been more at each other's throats, which is, obviously part of divide and conquer, which is part of their plan. That's how it works. Problem, reaction, solution, divide and conquer, and they'll come in and they'll take control and give everyone what they want, and it'll be world peace and love wins and all this other nonsense, right? And the list continues to go on with Obama and with McCain, and you can go through theirs. You can go through all these people. Just look them up and see who they're related to, and you'll just, Jimmy Carter, another one of his cousins. Then you get like low-life actors, Ed Helms, like the 20th cousin. Right? And I get it. I get somewhat of skepticism because somebody's like, well, I have a second cousin and a third cousin, but like, I don't know who my 20th cousin is. Well, I guarantee your 20th cousin, isn't Donald Trump or Barack Obama. Okay. Because you probably would know because you would be inside of these bloodlines. They keep these things intact. Right? The people who are related to these people know that they're related. How do you think they get their backs scratched and get pushed into the limelight? So, again, I just wanted to do a video. I thought it was hilarious when he said it because, it couldn't – remember, the truth is always right in front of our faces, right? The truth is always right in front of us. They're always showing us the truth. They're always saying it, but people don't take it literally. They go, oh, right, it's not run on bloodlines or anything like that because it's a republic because we vote all these people in. Oh, right, we pretend to vote our vote. They pretend our vote counts. But every candidate who's running against each other is related to one another. Boy, somebody like me couldn't run for president. How could I run? You need like millions of dollars to get on the panel or whatever in each state, right? So you have to have hundreds of millions of dollars anyway to run. Let alone the fact that if somebody did try to run, the biggest slander campaigns imaginable will be blasted all over TV. They probably call me a pedo. They'll call me a murderer. They'll say I'm a woman abuser. They'll say I'm a drug addict. They'll say I'm a crazy. They'll make crazy stories up. They'll say that I probably was instituted. They can say whatever they want, right? And if that doesn't work and people still listen, then you get 2 bullets in the back of your head. But they don't even have to put 2 bullets in the back of your head because they'll just put you out there and they'll go, fine, run. But you're not winning because the votes don't count. And people wouldn't be shocked if someone like me didn't win because they go, yeah, but all those stories about him and all the things he did. They'll just run slander campaign after slander. That's how it works, right? All part of the show, folks. These people are all related. It's hilarious. It gets funnier by the day. Even they can't keep a straight face anymore. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.